Yo, yo, yo. What up, party people, here on Omnibros on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening. Welcome, everybody. I haven't hosted in a while. Anyways, fuck all that. I feel like garbage because I'm a little sick, but welcome in, everybody. I'm Gabe. I love 90s comics. And right over there on the other side of the screen here with me, all the way on the other side of the country as well, is my boy Lou. Lou, tell everybody what is up.
Nothing much, man. I am streaming live from Florida, the bottom of Florida, the tip, if you will, of Florida.
The dickhead of Florida.
That's about right.
There you go.
Of Florida, and we're just kind of chilling tonight. So
yeah,
not much is going on.
Cool, man.
I'm enjoying seaweed snacks. These are actually pretty good.
You small person, you. I am enjoying some Sam's Club pizza because I got a head cold, and eating like garbage is the only thing that makes me feel better. So I'm going to be enjoying some pizza today on the show, as well as some tea in my. This is my sick cup. When I get sick, this is the cup I drink my tea out of. It's this really cool, amazing Spider-Man cup. And sorry for any non-Americans out there. I am doing the horrible American tradition of leaving the tea bag in the tea. I know when I used to go to Portugal, I would get a lot of garbage for leaving my tea bag in the tea.
That's the thing. You're not supposed to do that?
Yeah, dude, they gave me some crap. I was like, I guess you guys never played Halo before. You don't know anything about tea bagging.
Okay. I didn't know. I know that was a thing.
In Europe, they take it out, they put it like on a spoon or like a napkin or just on the side somewhere, and they pour a new cup and put it back in. Oh, I've always just kept it in since forever.
Yeah, same. One of the things that when I first started the diet it's not even a diet anymore, it's just how I'm eating now, is milk thistle. Milk thistle was one of the things that my doctor recommended. He's like, you need to drink milk thistle. It'll probably help out with the liver thing. And I was like, oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Cool. So coincidentally, I went and got my blood test done a little while ago.
What'd you get?
And the doctor was like, "Yeah, your liver enzymes a little high up."
Oh shit!
But it was like I told him this is like a month ago. I was like, I've been drinking and eating like crap. Like this is like a month. This is a 4th of July. It was like the week after 4th of July, and I was like, that whole week I had family over. I was drinking. I was eating like garbage. So they're like, well, we'll just do it over again. I haven't gone back yet. I'm pretty good on my diet, but then I got sick, and I had an appointment on Saturday to get my blood test again. I got, nope, I'm going to start over, get back on my normal eating routine, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to kill it. Because they're like, your cholesterol is perfect, everything else is perfect, but for some reason, your fatty liver enzymes are up a little bit. Yeah. And I was I've been eating like garbage. I've eaten nothing but takeout Mexican food, because when you have company come over, I don't want to cook for people other than like barbecuing, Right. But I don't want to cook breakfast and dinner. Nobody wants to eat in when they go out, when they go visit somewhere, right? Everybody wants to go out and eat. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go out and eat. And it was my sister, and I was like, oh, you got to try this place that has shrimp nachos. So let's eat that 3 times this week, So
yeah, that'll do it.
I'm feeling it for a little bit,
That'll totally do it. I have to go back. I haven't bothered with it. I'm either nervous or too chicken shit to go back or what have you. But I really do need to go back and get.
You got to just know where you're at, man. You got to just get. You got the baseline. Now you got to see what happened.
Right. Well, I mean, I dropped 35 pounds. So the way I see it is, it can only be better at this point.
Yeah. Dude, I gained like 10 pounds. I meant to got that blood exam. They were like I was 260. I was like, holy crap! All right, well. Normally, I'm 250,
Right.
And I was like, all right. And also because I was bloated because I was eating like garbage and stuff like that.
Right,
so I was like,
right.
Good. I'm back down to 250 according to my normal scale. But
for the record, you're a pretty lean guy now, and not only that, you lost a lot of weight before, and you're tall. Yeah. You're taller than I would say the average person. 6'2", right? I always get it wrong. 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, I'm 6'2". I remember when I was working at Torpedo, John would tell me, you're the tallest Mexican I've ever seen. Historically, us Hispanic people are on the 5'7", 5'8", plateau. But
5'8".
There you go.
I
broke through that when I was like in middle school. But yeah. But yeah, so I got to get back on it. All I eat is normally it's like meat, rice, chicken, rice, veggies, stuff like that. So I eat and like I like almond butter, and I found almond butter at Sam's Club, where if you look at the ingredients, it's literally just 3 ingredients. It's almonds, salt, and like palm oil. I'm like, sweet, great, because you get other almond butter or even almond milk or any other, even rice. You got to look at your rice. Like your rice will have a bunch of sulfate stuff in it, a bunch of preservative nonsense in it.
Yeah.
So I get just plain old jasmine rice, where the ingredients literally just say jasmine rice. It's not a paragraph of stuff I can't pronounce.
Yeah, for me, the rice thing was a big thing for me when I was trying to drop weight. I cut out rice completely. I've just started to really reintroduce it, but not even in a huge amount, just a little bit, and it's brown rice. I don't do white rice anymore. I just do the brown rice, and it's like a cup, if that, of brown rice is when I have it.
Dude, I eat rice like so much. I hate it sometimes.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I feel physically sick. And the biggest change.
What do you put on your rice? Do you eat it just plain, or what do you do with your rice? Like
a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil. I don't do anything else to it. I keep it pretty basic.
I do like a little bit of butter and a little bit of salt and pepper. Like that's it.
Yeah.
But I got some. I think it's called Land of the Lakes butter. I think that's what it's called. But it has sea salt in it, so I just put that on it. I don't need salt or pepper after that. I got the butter and I got a little bit of salt, and I'm good. Because I can't eat I'll eat like a massive thing of rice and a massive thing of chicken.
Oh, I destroy it. I can. Totally
and it's just bland. Like I eat very bland. Like a little bit of seasoning. I don't overdo it because that'll get you in trouble. That'll get you caught up.
Yeah.
But I try to eat as close to like what the earth more or less has given us. I don't.
Yeah.
Other than pizza, I wish there was like a pizza tree out there, but it's a different circumstance. But I try to eat as much as there is, just plain, just how it naturally is, as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard because everything out there is poison. All of our food, conspiracy theorists put our tinfoil hats on. Everything in there is poison.
Well, I mean, people are asking now why are young girls starting to hit puberty at a younger age now? And you got to think it's the hormones, right? It's probably the hormones. It's probably the shit that they're pumping in food and stuff like that. It's probably, we don't conspiracy theory, right? Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily know for sure, but it's probably a lot of that shit too. It's probably the garbage and everything like that.
Well, it's also, 50% of our children have some kind of clinical chronic disease. So,
well, we are in this house. We're pretty strict. In this house, we're really strict with what we feed. With what we feed the youngest, what we feed the baby girl. Fruits. We don't do any cookies. We don't do any of the garbage snacks or anything. It's a lot of fruits. She does not like any processed juices, apple juice, orange juice, or anything. She hates it. We tried giving it to her just to see how she reacts to it. Doesn't like it. She likes fresh orange juice, though. It's like straight from an orange is the only way she'll drink it. But 99% of the time, she's drinking water. Same thing. The chicken that we make her is just a little salt, a little pepper, not too crazy. So we're pretty selective about the stuff that we end up feeding her. Oatmeal is usually her breakfast, just straight oatmeal. And we throw maybe a banana in there just to kind of break it up a little bit. But she's all about fruits and veggies right now. Man.
Yeah, hopefully that sticks. When they get older, who knows? Luckily, my kids, they're very routine. So luckily, they're on. They eat mainly fruit, veggies, some meat. Every now and then, they'll get some like goldfish crackers or something like that. Some Doritos here and there. But like with your kid, my kid for some reason wanted some of this juicy juice, and I was like, all right, I'll get you some juicy juice. We'll see what happens. And he hated it. He just spit it out. Like, great, perfect. You don't get you in that garbage anymore. No Capri Suns, no nonsense like that for you. My kids drink just water, and my youngest drinks a lot of milk. He likes milk, so water and milk for kids for the most part. No soda. Yeah. They never had soda before. We
don't do soda. We don't do soda in the house. We never have soda in this house.
I haven't had soda in 10 plus years, probably even longer. I have no idea the last time I had a soda.
Yeah, we don't do soda in the house at all. Yeah. I was gonna ask because we were talking about this behind the scenes. If you're ordering Chinese, what's the go-to order, man? If you're having, that day where you're like, you know what, fuck it today. I'm gonna have a little bit of fucking Chinese food.
Let me see. Let me do one thing here real fast first. A couple things because I'm gonna get thrown off track. As always, we gotta give our praise and our thanks and our passion and our love and appreciation to the holy creator that is Jack Kirby. Thank you, Jack Kirby. Without you, there would be no comic books.
Goddamn right.
No Marvel comic books, I should say. No MCU. No, nothing like that would exist without the one true creator. All praise be to Jack Kirby. Let's go ahead and pass around that collection plate and get our tithing. I'm just joking. But also with that said, one last little thing, bro. Sponsorship time, everybody. You know what's up. You've been here. All of our loyal, valued viewers and listeners out there who are smart, they all know the one true place to go to save on your omnibuses, collected editions, hardcovers, mangas, and all your collected edition needs is InStockTrades.com, where if you make an order in the US of only $50 or more, is free shipping. That's right. Free shipping, excellent packaging. Books always go live Tuesday afternoon, like at 12/9 if you're in the Pacific time, like myself. You get a loyalty discount of 2% when you make one order, and then you can make another order. You'll get a 2% extra off on that second order. Excellent customer service. They give us a $50 gift card here so that we can give out on the show live to one lucky viewer, which we did, I think, last week. So shout out to that lucky winner. We'll be doing it again next month in September. So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe so that you don't miss your chance of getting a free $50 gift card from InStockTrades.com. Hell yeah. Chinese food. All right. Yep. My go-to Chinese food. I told you guys before I found like a authentic Chinese food place out here that's awesome and amazing. I'm not talking about that. I think we're talking about just your normal, like traditional, like what people think of Chinese food. I am basic, and it's usually like double orange chicken.
Double orange chicken. Okay.
Double orange chicken, some rice. And it depends on how I feel. Maybe some rice, maybe some chow mein, maybe a little bit of both. But I'm definitely just killing myself on some orange chicken.
Do you do the spring roll or the egg roll, or neither?
If anything, it'd be a spring roll. I think spring roll's better. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that deep fried, like whatever stuff, Especially if I go to like a Vietnamese place and I get like some Vietnamese like spring rolls. Son, some peanut butter sauce. Yeah, dude.
Oh man. So for me, when it comes to Chinese, I get fucking nasty with it. I'm like, the worst at Chinese food, man. Extra points if the little kid is sitting in front and he's doing his homework. We talked about this before, and he's the one that takes your order. That's bonus points. You're getting the real deal there.
Or you get some guy in a beat up old wife beater and half a cigarette hanging out of his face.
Bingo. Yep. Now, a lot of times when I go to a Chinese restaurant, it is not a Chinese person that's cooking the Chinese food in the background. It's either some Hispanic food. It's a Mexican, it's a Puerto Rican, it's some Hispanic dude in the back, and I don't mind it, to be honest with you. They get really damn close. It comes out great.
I don't really subscribe to the idea that you have to be of the ethnicity to match the food to be able to cook it correctly. It's food. No. Anybody can cook it, especially if you're going to actually almost anywhere, really. It doesn't have to be an actual Chinese immigrant person to make good Chinese food. Unless you're getting like that Chinese food place I have out here that's super authentic. That might be a different story. But if you need some beef and broccoli, go ahead and let Jose cook it up. I don't care.
So my traditional order is I will do pork belly or the boneless spare ribs, and I do the pork fried rice because I love the pork fried rice. I will have a egg roll because I prefer the egg roll over the spring roll, and some crab ragoons. I will devour crab ragoons, and that's why we don't have Chinese food that often in this house. if we can avoid it.
It's rough, dude. It's
oh my god.
I'll be hungry an hour later. You know?
Yeah, I always wonder what that is. I like Minnesota Vance in the chat. He's saying that I lived in China. The food you get here is not Chinese food. I believe that.
No, and like we said, we're not talking about normal like legitimate Chinese food.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a place out here, and I'll get some like cold noodles or pork belly sandwich or some of the actual like authentic Chinese village style food. I'm just talking about like I'm gonna go to like the normal Chinese food place down the street or Panda, which I really try never to go to Panda, but that type of stuff. Beef and broccoli, orange chicken, shrimp fried rice, like I guess Americanized Chinese food. I don't know what you would call it, but that kind of stuff for real.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucas. Lucas is in the chat. Haven't seen him for a minute. He's been busy at work, which is good. Glad to see you sitting here, hanging out with us. Just started reading Sleeper. Bro, enjoy it. No feelings. No feelings. Homeboy has no feelings. So he's got to do other stuff to get excited. Yeah, but
that's do you remember how that ends? We won't ruin it for Lucas.
Dude, I've forgotten most details about it. I read that like early 2000s.
That's got an ending that it has always stuck with me from the day that I finished. Yeah, I went, oh, that's dark. That's
there's a topic we could get into one day. It's, significant comic book moments or something, right?
I like that. Yeah, that's one of those books, man. When you get to the ending of it, it's a wild ride. It's a fun ride, but the ending, wow, it's an ending. That's for sure. Shout
out to Next Imaginaut. Have you been hitting the extra strength Pedialyte? No, I don't have like a stomach issue. Which is usually if I do get into Pedialyte is if I get like a stomach bug. But I drink nothing but water all day long anyways. I'm drinking some hot tea right now, so I'm good with that.
Real quick, I want to answer Jake's question if you don't mind. Jake asks, and I don't know if you've seen these. Which movie should I see? Which movie should I see first? Blade Runner or Escape from New York? Never seen either of them. Oh man. I'll let you go first because this is kind of a tough one for me.
I would right off the top of my head say Escape from New York.
Okay.
Just because I don't know what Jake likes or what he's normally into. But for me, I Escape from New York is a much more action-packed, fast-paced, like popcorn cinema kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where Blade Runner is a lot of like, oh, really? But there's some action mixed into it. But it's a lot of like, it's very dialogue, story driven.
Yeah.
Things kind of have to kind of play themselves, to conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Where Escape from New York is explosions and escaping and Kurt Russell. Thank you. It's a little bit more of an action-packed thriller kind of a movie. Mm-hmm. Where Blade Runner is a lot more kind of a thinking kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, without knowing what your preference, I mean, it's really all about your preference. Are you looking for a very thought-provoking film on the nature of life and what it means? Do you like sci-fi? Do you like noir? Like a noir type story, a detective story? Then yeah, Blade Runner's in your bag. If you're looking for, this is gonna sound mean, but it's really not. If you're looking for I'm not going to say dumb. If you're looking for a really fun, cheesy kind of action movie from, what is Escape? 80s?
Mid-80s.
83?
Yeah.
From the 80s, starring Kurt Russell. Then yeah, Escape from New York is your bag, man. I love both films. I absolutely love Escape from New York. The sequel, Escape from LA, was it? Not as good.
That's a different story.
Yeah, you could skip that. But Escape from New York is badass. It's a fun film, man. It's really, really fun. You got to put yourself kind of in the headspace of the time and what John Carpenter was doing at the time and what those films are. But if you do that, I think you'll have a good time. You'll ride it out. If you've seen John Carpenter's other stuff, then especially from that time period, you'll know. There was a time period where John Carpenter was fucking knocking it out of the park. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They Live, The Fog, Escape from New York. Jeez.
So John Carpenter's got some hits on him for sure, but Escape from New York is just, I love Kurt Russell's movies. His older movies are great, fun stuff.
You know, I've never seen
Overboard. You know, he's a good comedic actor as well.
I've never seen Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, dude!
Never seen it. No, I've never seen it.
That's a classic, bro. Yeah. You need to put that right there next to Goonies.
And here's the thing: I have the Goonies. I have a nice Goonies box set, and I still haven't cracked it open yet. It's a crying shame. NFL dude, I'm planning to see Alien Romulus this weekend with my kid. We're going Saturday sometime in the afternoon.
My wife and I are going to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing a great Alien film again. I hope.
Here's a good thing from Next Imaginon as well. Now, next thing is systematically replacing most of your plastic kitchenware with glass, ceramic, stainless steel as you can stand. I've done that a little about a year and a half ago, maybe. Conspiracy theory hat on. Microplastics are crazy. So yeah, my wife and I we got rid of all of our plastic bowls and plastic dishes and plates.
Yeah.
And it's all, porcelain, ceramic stuff that we got from IKEA. Same with our kids. We don't let them eat off of plastic plates anymore. They're older now, so they can use adult size silverware.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing it's hard too because everything out there is plastic. There's plastic everywhere.
Oh, it's crazy.
There's plastic in this chair. There's plastic in this new desk I got. I don't drink out of plastic bottles at all, as much as possible. As much as possible. That's why I have my own water jug that I carry around with me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's hard to. The only thing my kids have plastic is they're lunch boxes for school. Because trying to find a silicone one or a bamboo one or anything else is stupid expensive, hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, oh, can't deal with that. That sucks. All right.
I never heard of bamboo ware. So right.
Yeah, that's the kind of place we got for my kids are bamboo plates. They feel like they're sturdy and hard, but they feel like plastic, like that sturdiness, but it's bamboo.
I've never even known that. I didn't know that there was such a thing as bamboo plates. Honestly,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. I've had bamboo sheets, and bamboo sheets are really nice. They breathe really well. So villains. Oh, all right. So I wanted to do this topic tonight. It's a topic that we've done before, and we've touched on it, but we never really done such a broad range of it. We've kind of always stuck to comics. But I figured, you know what? Wednesdays is kind of a free-for-all show. It's more pop culture. We've incorporated a lot of different things in it now. So let's expand it a little bit. And I think for the for my first choice, I'm gonna go with Pennywise as one of my favorite villains of all time.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about comic book villains. Okay.
No, I said we're expanding it to anything. Everything is fair game. Everything is fair game.
Well, on the topic of alien movies, I love the Xenomorphs.
Okay, the Xenomorphs.
I think the Xenomorphs are one of the most creative, interesting characters. It's hard to call them villains because they're just natural predators, right? It's just like calling a bear a villain or something like that, right? But the idea of them being acid blood and the whole mother alien that kind of gives birth to the eggs and how it's a three-step process where it's an egg, a face hugger.
Yeah.
And that face hugger is oh man, I was watching Romulus, the trailer for Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been this way, but it seemed a lot more visceral and in your face. Is, as the cool kids say, very SA involved with that face hugger in a way it forces its pregnancy into you, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, just how it's you can't just kill them right away. It's hard to kill them. They're very agile. They climb on walls. They climb on ceilings. They got a really just scary, creepy. It's H.R. Giger, right? It's all very penis, scary looking animal kind of thing, right? So it just has that look and just scariness to them. I love the Xenomorphs.
NFL dude, do your thing. That's all I'm gonna say in the chat.
Yeah, I see it too. Later, homeboy.
I'm sure somebody will catch it. Hey, thanks, man. So for me, Pennywise has always been the thing that's scared the shit out of me because I've had a fear of clowns even when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure it stemmed from watching the fucking Tim Curry It movie when I was way too damn young. Yeah. And my father didn't care. He didn't censor really what I watched as a kid. Like I think most of our dads did, right? Your dad probably didn't care what you were watching. I was watching fucking what's his name? He's fat now, but he used to be an action movie star. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Vin Diesel.
No, but that's
Steve Seagal.
Steve Seagal. I used to watch Steve Seagal movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, which I still love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I love the dude. And Pennywise has always been one that's stuck out to me just because of the whole clown thing, and not only that, being in the sewers and luring kids and attacking kids and everything. And it's not only, it's when you get older, you start going, it's a clown, whatever, right? But I think the new It films that came out in the last few years really kind of reinvigorated that. Oh yeah, no, Pennywise is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Can't hear you. You're muted.
I muted myself to eat.
No, you're good.
Pennywise never did that to me. I was never like had any kind of scared inhibitions towards clowns. But the newer movies are really creepy. Like just the way they kind of brought in that supernatural element to it more. That original film, it was like a miniseries, right? It was like 2 like TV show movies.
It was a miniseries, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great, but I was never like that scared of it, or even like the giant spider thing at the end. I was more interested in like the way that the kids. I reacted more to how the kids reacted to them, as opposed to me reacting to it itself. You know?
Yeah. If you ever get the chance out there to read the book has a very famous ending. That I'm not gonna get into the details of the book, but it involves a space turtle. It involves an orgy. It's a weird ending. Yeah, dude, I'm not kidding. The ending of fucking It, the book, is wild to the point where I was wondering how they're gonna end this in the second film, and I like the adaptation that they did in the second film. They changed.
Well, I haven't read the book, but I had a friend who told me, this is years ago, like early high school years, about the group of friends' relationship with the one female character, the one female friend, right? Yeah. No, like that's not true. That's not true. But this is back before the internet, so I had no way of like, other than reading like a giant book to kind of prove it or disprove it. I remember going to Barnes and Noble with my friends, and I was asking the employees, like, "Hey, have you read It? Is it true that all the guys, like that happens?" And like, yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, weird."
Yeah, it is weird, but I mean, we got to remember this was prime cocaine. Pure yayo Stephen King. This is before he got clean. So yeah. Hey. Next up for my choice would be I'm gonna go back to comics. Yeah. I'm kind of scrolling through the Rolodex in my head. I like Kingpin, man. I like Kingpin, and I like the way that he fucks with Daredevil. He's a great antagonist to Daredevil, and he's always been the guy that has really fucked over Daredevil's life in the worst way possible. Mm-hmm. And Daredevil has always kind of had to overcome him. But that was kind of a Frank Miller thing, wasn't it? Kingpin became a Daredevil villain with Frank Miller. And when he started using him, because before that he was a Spider-Man villain. And not a very good Spider-Man villain, if I remember correctly.
No, he was a joke. He was a joke. Like he was like fat, aristocrat kind of guy.
Right. Right. It was Frank Miller that decided, no, let's make him kind of a formidable villain against Daredevil in his run. And if you see some of the stuff that they get into, especially when you start reading the Brian Michael Bendis run, the Ed Brubaker run, and everything like that, they go at it, man. They go at it back and forth hard. I've said this before. One of my favorite moments is, I think it's the Bendis moment. It's in the Bendis run where Daredevil takes Kingpin, he straps him to the hood of a car, and then he fucking drives the car right through a building where a bunch of gang leaders are meeting up, and he goes, "Yeah, you see this fat piece of shit? Yeah, he's done. I'm the leader of Hell's Kitchen. Get out."
Yeah.
and then it's preceded by the next 4 months of the most savage beatings that anybody's ever seen in Hell's Kitchen, to the point where a bunch of Daredevil's friends show up and go, "Yeah, man, you had a nervous breakdown. Fucking tone it down, okay? It's I think it's Doctor Strange, it's Peter Parker, I forget.
Iron Fist. It was Iron Fist, Cage, and Doctor Strange, if I remember correct.
Something like that. And
it was just three just street level guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you mean? Look at what you guys do. You guys are all running around doing your own crazy stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great moment and a fantastic run, and it kind of made me laugh, but at the same time you go, Matt is kind of right in this. Yeah, he is deliberately crippling some of New York's worst, but he is right.
Yeah. And also, like, Frank Miller's the one that made him, like, not that he's like a fat guy. Sure, he's a little fat, but he is a power lifter. Like, that's why, like, it was Hawkeye. Yeah, because Hawkeye shows up, or in Hawkeye, Kingpin shows up and just starts whooping ass and starts throwing him through like windows and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, "How can he do that? He can't do that. He's not that strong." I'm like, bro, homeboy's a power lifter. Like, he is no joke. He's crushing skulls.
Yeah.
So, let me see. Let me get we're on comic book topics. I don't know. Let me just be a basic bitch about it and say the Joker.
Really? I'm kind of surprised by that one.
Well, I'm just naming off names right now. I'm trying to get a good idea of something. But Joker is definitely like one of the best. He's over. He might be played out. Yeah. I think that's his problem. That's his kind of like chink in his armor. Chink meaning something missing, not, don't think of it as anything else, everybody. That's his downfall, is that he is overused, overexposed. But when he's used well, it's some of the best stuff you're ever going to see. Like, him taking out Robin, him taking out Jim Gordon's wife.
Yeah.
All of that kind of some of my favorite stuff. Gotham Central, when you had the sniper situation going on.
Yeah, it's such a good moment.
One of the coolest moments ever. People rarely talk about that, let alone that comic book series, let alone that, like, I think it might have been like a 2 or 3 issue thing.
Yeah.
With the snipers. Just genius, crazy, out of control stuff. Not a fan of like the movie stuff too much, but him in the right comic book writer hands is top notch stuff. Yeah. That's hard to do, because everybody that writes Batman wants to do a Joker story, and not everybody can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, because you can't do better than what's already out there. And the more that you do, you water down that character so much.
I think you didn't hit the nail on the head. I think part of the problem with the Joker is that he is a bit played out, because, like you said, it's almost immediately you can set your watch to it. Some guy does a Batman run, and when he does the Batman run, within 20 issues, I'm going to tell my Joker story. It's like, all right, here we go. So we get a year of Joker stories, and it's like, okay, do you have anything else other than the Joker story? Because it's cool, but there are only so many Joker stories. And for me, the last time the Joker was really terrifying, that's just for me, was in that Batman run by Scott Snyder. I know a lot of people didn't care for the Joker stories that were in there, but Death of the Family, I thought he was genuinely really creepy in Death of the Family. And in the subsequent sequel, which was it Endgame that he showed back up again? I think it was Endgame.
Yeah, it was Endgame.
I thought Scott Snyder used him really effectively, which is true. He's a horror writer. For me, Joker always works when you get him in the context of that this is a character that works as a horror character. For me, I get that, it's not going to be for everybody, but, we've had different iterations of the Joker throughout the years. We've had the mob boss, the crazy anarchist, stuff like that. But I really like it when he's kind of an unrelenting force and he's scary, and when he kind of gets under your skin a little bit. I like that. Yeah. Part of the reasons why I love that Joker film from a few years ago was because there were a few moments that were genuinely very fucking edge of my seat. I'm gripping my seat, and I was like, oh shit, like this is kind of creeping me out a little bit. One scene in particular was that scene where he's got the little person in the room, and he kills the one guy, and then the little person is trying to get out. He can't get out. He can't reach the door. The audience was laughing, but it was kind of a moment of laughter of, letting the tension release where everybody's like, oh, okay, he's gonna let him go. All right, good. So yeah, for me, that's the most effective way to use the Joker.
Yeah, Kane says his favorite Joker is animated series Joker and Batman White Knight.
White Knight is good. White Knight is very good. They turn him into a kind of a hero. I
But
don't know.
do they?
Have you had a chance to read White Knight?
I read it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you
read that first series? I've already read that first series.
Keep reading because they do a good job of it. They kind of do a little bit of a redemption arc for him in the subsequent series. It's good. I really wish that Sean Murphy would come back and do a lot more of that stuff. Is he doing anything else right now?
He does a lot of his own creator-owned stuff. I think he was doing. Was it a Zorro comic through Kickstarter?
Right. He was doing a Zorro comic. Yeah, I need to read that because it's Sean Murphy. I love Sean Murphy's work. So Batman the Animated Series, Batman White Knight, Jake and Louis Fuzzy nervous to escape his dream hope, but there's nothing junky. Okay. Heath Ledger's Joker, Zorro is his next book. So if I had to go with another one, we mentioned this on.
What do you think of Heath Ledger's Joker, real quick? With Heath Ledger's Joker. What do you think? What do you think of that?
I mean, Heath Ledger's Joker works in the context of those Batman movies because Christopher Nolan was going for a really grounded look. And I remember one of the first images when they came out, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? His skin isn't bleached white. You got the guy from Brokeback Mountain. Is the joke." Guys, this was that era, so don't get offended, okay? This was just the time. It's like, oh, you've got a gay Joker, because he did Brokeback Mountain. It was stupid. Not the movie. People thinking like that, but
and to be fair, everybody thinks about that. They said the same thing about Michael Keaton being Batman. Oh, you got Mr. Mom being Batman?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Pattinson got the same shit too. It was like, oh, you've got the guy from Twilight doing Batman, and I'm like, y'all need to fucking watch more movies because Pattinson's been doing great shit the last few years before he got that Batman role.
Water for Elephants, son.
Water for Elephants, good time. He did The Lighthouse. He put in work. He definitely put in work in smaller films. So for Heath Ledger's Joker, all of that, I feel, all of that sentimentality of like, oh, it's this pretty boy doing the Joker went away within the first 10 minutes when he does that bank heist. And then
the first 3 minutes of that movie, dude. Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah. No, he deserved that Oscar. So it's not a case for me with Heath and that Oscar. It's not necessarily a case of The Crow, which we here love The Crow. I love The Crow. You love The Crow. But we can't deny that The Crow is buoyed by the fact that unfortunately Brandon Lee's death happened on the set of that film. And that's kind of led it to become more of a legendary film that I think wouldn't have been. Not saying I don't like the movie because I like the movie, but with Heath Ledger's Joker, he earned that Oscar. Even if Heath Ledger were still around today and did not die, that is still one of the great performances of that time. You can't take that away from him. It's still fucking great, and he crushed it. He crushed it. His version of the Joker being an anarchist, it works, and I really like it. I really do.
And that's the thing with Joker is you got to be very careful with them. Some writers try to make them more than like street level. They try to make them a little bit more almost supernaturally. Especially I don't want to bring up bad stuff all the time, but 3 Jokers. The whole idea of him having three. There's 3 Jokers, and each one kind of had their own kind of different scenario and personality kind of thing. Didn't work for me. But when it's a straightforward, he is like a gangster, street level kind of character, he works out fine that way. That's where he belongs, and that's why the Heath Ledger stuff worked so well. So because Christopher Nolan is a grounded level director at that time.
Yeah. It was his greatest. It was the greatest thing that it was his greatest benefit is that he grounded the character so much. But it also kind of bit him in the ass, I think, a little bit, because then when he does the third film with Bane and you start kind of poking holes at it, well, this is so grounded. How did Batman get from here to there in the span of this time? And
And you can't just punch a guy's broken back into place.
Yeah, so it kind of bites him in the ass.
How does he get TV in that underground cellar?
Bingo, right? Once you go so real, so grounded and real, you kind of have to stick to that, and I think it kind of bites him in the ass in the third film, which I have seen the third film. Last time I saw it was about a year ago, and the more I watch, it's Dark Knight Returns, right? It's late, and I work all day.
Yeah, Dark Knight Returns, the third one.
The more you watch Dark Knight Returns, for me at least, the more I enjoy it. I still love that scene where he first pops up in the cowl and the cops are there and everything like that, and he's got like the Batwing or whatever it is that they call it in that movie. I still love that scene. I think there are great moments in an otherwise pretty flawed film. I think Tom Hardy's Bane is awesome. I love Tom Hardy's Bane. My brother and I went to the first showing of that in IMAX, and everybody lost their shit when Bane lifts Batman and he breaks his back in the comics. It's an iconic moment, and if you knew, you knew. Everybody lost it in the theater.
I remember seeing that going, they did it.
They did it.
Do it because we've had Bane before on the animated series and Batman and Robin, where you're like almost there, he's picking him up, but then something happens, right? Yeah. Same with the Infinity War, when Thanos does the snap, and I'm like, oh, they did it. They really went through and killed half the universe. Like, cool. You know?
I wasn't sure how that was gonna. That's another great example if you want to use Thanos, because I know you're a huge fan of Thanos, comics and movies. The thing that I love about Thanos, especially in the MCU, is that you get, as messed up as it is, you kind of get where Thanos' point of view is. He's like, hey, my planet, we were starving. The planet of Titan, everybody was struggling. We didn't have enough resources. So what did I do? I killed half the people on the planet, and now it's a paradise. Yeah. It's a fucked up logic, and it won't last because in about 50 years, that problem's going to come back. But still, you get where his
population control is never the answer.
No. You get kind of where his mindset is. And the thing with Infinity War is that in a way it's a Thanos movie. Infinity War is largely about Thanos when you watch that again. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, you got the superheroes.
The Avengers lose at the end of that movie.
They lose. Thanos wins. At the end of that movie, Thanos gets what he wants, and he wins.
Mm-hmm. I saw, going back to Dark Knight, I went to go see was it Mission Impossible 3? There was one Mission Impossible and they showed it in IMAX, and only the IMAX version got a sneak peek of Batman Return of the Dark Knight, and it was the opening scene with the airplane.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But I saw it because Christopher Nolan never wanted to do ADR on Bane, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
But I saw that was the original version that didn't have the ADR for Bane, and you couldn't understand crap he was saying.
It was that bad.
Was difficult. Like it really was a struggle to like try and make out what he was saying. It's like talking to somebody with broken English, and you're kind of like piecing the words together to make the sentence kind of thing. Yeah. So I was really glad that he went and did the ADR, because I was like, dude, I experienced it without the ADR, and it was impossible to figure out what was going on.
Damn, I never saw it without the ADR because I never got to those fan screenings and stuff like that. But I had heard that it was that bad, and
it was bad, dude.
He was very adamant about not wanting to do the ADR, and the studio eventually said, "You're fucking doing the ADR because nobody can understand this guy when he's talking."
Yeah, it was rough, dude. Actually, I think there's a video of it. But either way, we can't. Not like we can play that here. We'll get nailed. Let's see.
For me, I'm gonna go another one. I'm gonna throw another one out there.
Yeah,
we talked about this guy on the Patreon show on patreon.com/Omnibros Live, which if you have not joined, please consider doing so. For $5 a month, you get to join Gabe and I once a month, and maybe even twice a month if we can work the schedule out, on patreon.com, and you get to talk to us. We've had quite a few guests on the show before from the audience, and we always have a great time doing it. We also have a large archive of a bunch of these live streams that Gabe and I have done, in the past, there is hours and hours of content that is $5 a month on patreon.com/OmnibrosLive. It's a cup of coffee, guys. We always appreciate you. And I know times are tough out there, but if you mind throwing a couple of shekels our way, it is appreciated. The guy that I was talking about was Fred Krueger.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Krueger, man.
Our boy Freddy.
Freddy Krueger, to me, that's my favorite horror villain of all time. He's up there. He's up there. Simply because of the fact that he just has to wait you out.
You eventually got to sleep.
You got to sleep at some point.
You're not avoiding that, no matter how much coffee or caffeine pills or whatever you take to avoid it.
Yeah, so he's just got to wait you out. It's not like Michael Myers, where if you drive out of Haddonfield and try going 1,000 miles away, he probably won't find you. But Michael, Freddy will get you at some point.
Well, I'm more of a Jason fan, though. I mean, it's cool. Freddy's awesome with the whole sleep thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Jason just because he is just that powerhouse character with no real superpowers. He's other than the fact that he's a slasher who can't really die.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that total fear of what you're going to do against somebody in the real world that you can't really kill and who just keeps coming after you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that unrelenting force. So you're a fan of Zombie Jason?
I like Zombie Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, I like, before he gets it gets stupid and you get Jason X in space.
Hey, I like Jason X. I will defend Jason X as a fun movie.
I like the ones where he's in the camp, murdering teenage camp counselors who are having sex and smoking weed,
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Where you pick somebody up in a sleeping bag and just bangs them against a tree.
Oh, that's a good
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good kill. Yeah, I like Jason. Welcome to prime time, bitch. I really like Jason. He's up there with me. I hope to God eventually they straighten out the rights issues with Friday the 13th, so we can get a fucking proper sequel.
Is there issues with the rights?
I think they cleaned it up. I think they have worked on it. I know Brian Fuller, who did Pushing Daisies, and he did the Hannibal TV show, which was badass. He had the rights to do a Crystal Lake TV show, and there were scripts written and everything like that, but he has since left the project, so who knows what's going on there. Which is a fucking shame, because that would have been great. So I prefer Zombie Jason just because of the same reason. I love that unrelenting force that just keeps coming at you, and he takes his time, right? He's not sprinting. He knows he's gonna get you. He's just walking to you.
He's gonna walk. He's gonna get you. You're gonna tire yourself out. He knows you're gonna go upstairs, and you're dumb for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You can burn him. You can hit him with an axe. He's coming. He's coming after you. He's coming. There's no negotiating with that guy. You can't beg and plead your way out of it. You're going down. You were the reason why he drowned as a kid. What else?
How about Brother Lano?
Oh, Lano's awesome.
Yeah.
Is he a villain? I mean, I guess. He's definitely not a good guy. He's kind of like an anti-hero kind of guy. Like, Brother Lano was very anti-hero, where he was trying to do the good thing and hang out with the nuns, and then, bad stuff comes to calling, and he drags them right back in to his ways.
Ooh, I got one for you. Chief Red Crow.
Oof.
From
He's
Scout.
a nice dude.
I
mean, his daughter, the stuff that he does to his daughter, how his daughter turns out because of him is always
Chief Red Crow is an ass, dude. But you kind of root for him because the thing that I love about Chief Red Crow is that he kind of falls into those same characters like Walter White and Vic Mackey from The Shield, guys like that, where they're the bad guys, but you kind of root for them in a way. Vic Mackey's a great example of that, right? Because the first episode of The Shield, you're watching the whole first episode of The Shield. Spoilers I guess for what, almost 20, 25-year-old TV
20,
show.
25-year-old series, yeah.
Yeah. You're
Pushing
watching
30 years.
Yeah, you're watching The Shield and Vic Mackey. They go on. They do. Vic Mackey's a corrupt cop, right? And his whole unit is corrupt. And they go on whatever, I forgot where it was. It's been a long time since I've seen the episode. They go on something.
They go to this guy named Two Times Apartment, who's a drug dealer.
Right, and they end up shooting their own guy. Vic Mackey turns the gun on one of his own crewmen, and he shoots him.
Yeah.
And that sets up the whole chain of events that kind of kick off that series. It's
and that's not even the worst thing about that series, dude. That series,
no.
I recently rewatched it, and it's one of my favorite series of all time for a reason. It just escalates, you know. I mean, that part where they take out Terry Crowley in episode 1 is like, that's the cardinal sin, you know. And then through the rest of the series, it's like, yeah, you know, he might, you know, beat up a drug dealer or shoot a guy up with heroin in order to get information out of him, but he's doing it to, you know, clean up the streets a little bit.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know. So
yeah. Man, and how good is Walton? Well, I mean, Walton Goggins is good in just about anything, but how good is Walton Goggins in The Shield, man?
Yeah, that was my first experience with him, and I've loved him ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's, you know, The Shield, Fallout, Baby Billy, which I think.
Baby Billy.
I fucking love Baby Billy.
Baby Billy's the best, dude.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, man. I like those great characters. I mean, Walter White. I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad or Better Call.
I've seen Breaking Bad. Yeah, you like those they're anti-heroes. You know, they're doing bad things with good intentions. They're not just inherently just evil and corrupt, right?
Right.
And yeah, you know, sure, Walter White is, you know, selling drugs, and you know, drugs are bad and all that kind of stuff. But you know, he needed to pay for his medical bills somehow, and he just kind of got caught up in it.
Well, I mean, the further
there's some sympathy involved with some of these characters.
Yeah, and because the thing is with Walter White, right, is that Walter White, once again, we go back to, you get why Walter White is doing what he's doing, right? He's a teacher. He makes shit pay. He got kind of fucked over out of this company that he was supposed to be a part of. And he ends up becoming a meth dealer. You start going down the rabbit hole of the character, and when you start going down that rabbit hole, you start noticing, oh, this is more about his ego. He realizes he's good at this. He likes doing it. And he admits towards the end of the series, I was good at it and I like doing it. I have almost no regrets of the people I've killed, the kids that I've put in danger, the lives I've ruined. No, he at his core, he's a very selfish character. But I really enjoy seeing that spiral, seeing the initial, I'm doing this because I'm dying and I want to give my family some money and I want to leave them with something because I can't. And to the realization of, I'm going to become a drug kingpin just because I fucking want to and I like doing it.
Character that you can't have any sympathy with, Bullseye.
Oh, Bullseye. Yeah, Bullseye is just pure evil.
Bullseye is just a maniacal serial killer.
Yeah, Bullseye.
He kills because he likes to kill. I mean, at first he was kind of like a jokey character, and again, it's kind of, you know, let's take back all praise be to Frank Miller for what he did at Daredevil and what he did with Kingpin. He also did to Bullseye and made Bullseye made him that villain, made him more than just, you know, he was kind of a cheeky kind of, you know, villain character. But when he kills Elektra, that was just iconic.
That was iconic.
We were talking about it on the Patreon stream because we were watching the Thunderbolts leaked trailer.
Yes.
That, by the way, if nobody knows, you should know that Sentry's in the movie.
Yeah. And
I mentioned what, you know, Sentry needs to keep his wife away from Bullseye because of what happened in the Dark Avengers series.
Yeah.
Him taking out Karen Page. And we talk about this part 2 all the time on the show. Daredevil in Punisher Max, Bullseye in Punisher Max.
Terrifying.
Is the most just serial killer, gnarly, nasty villain that version of that character that you'll ever see.
It's terrifying. He genuinely, to me, is genuinely terrifying in that series. It's Bullseye's up there. Bullseye's up there, if not only because every time he sees Matt happy, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna just fuck with Matt, and I'm gonna take him down a bit.
You need to be happy, bro. Like let's kill somebody close to you. I mean, Matt gets him back. I mean, Matt, he drops him off a building. I forget. He does something that crushes his bones, and he ends up getting an adamantium like skeleton.
I think Matt breaks his spine at one point.
Yeah, I think, but does he? I forget. Does he toss him off a building through a window? Does he just kick him in the back and break? I forget what happens, but yeah, he does get like adamantium bones because of that, or maybe just his spinal column. But yeah.
What about, how do you feel about Sinestro?
Ooh, he's a great one. You're scratching that itch, man. You're barking up the right tree with Sinestro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's very I compare him a little bit to Dr. Doom, where he's a dictator. He's obviously a dictator, same as Doom. Doom is maybe a little bit more of a benevolent dictator, where he kind of really cares about the people of Latveria, and he keeps them structured, and his fascism on top of of Latveria. To him, he's doing it for love and appreciation, and to keep his people safe and with food, and living the best lives they can. Where with Sinestro, it's all just fear and terror. They might be happy, and but what kind of a cost are you paying that at, right? Which is kind of the idea of fascism. So him and Doom have that kind of fascism dictatorship about them both.
Yeah, I love Sinestro, especially if you read that Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, because what Sinestro really is just doing is an extension of what the Guardians have taught him. It's about control. I'm going to police my sector the way I want to, and I'm going to control it the way I want to. And in his way, it's fascism, basically. It's I rule this sector. Don't fuck with it.
I'm doing this because I know better, and we got to do it this way because I know better, kind of thing, right?
Right.
So
exactly, it's great stuff, man.
Everything has to be controlled by me, and that kind of stuff, right? You kind of take away that free will for a utopian society, apparently. Right.
So I was just thinking about this now. Here's one. Do you classify Galactus as a villain, or is he just a force? Is he kind of in that force of nature, something like a hurricane or something like a tornado and things like that? Or is he a villain?
He's not a villain. I think he's more than like a tornado, but in that idea of like it's a natural kind of occurrence, right? It's almost. You ever watch like documentaries of like the wildlife? The cameramen go out there and they get attached to like a pack of like animals, and they have to kill another animal, right? Yeah. And you go like, and people go like, well, how come they just don't stop them from killing that animal? Well, no, like you can't. That's how they eat, right? It's top of the food chain kind of thing, right? And Galactus is that top of the food chain, and he has to eat. And to end up having to be your planet, well, you're on the menu. You got to do what you got to do, right? Same as us eating lobsters or crabs or chicken, meat, or whatever the case might be, right? It's top of the food chain. It's survival. It is what it is, and that's the idea. I take it as Galactus. I think it's a really good analogy of it being like a force of nature, because they do refer to him as that. But force of nature, I think, is something that occurs naturally within the habitat, right? I don't think that quite happens naturally because, obviously Galactus is making choices. Like, okay, I want this planet, or I'm going to take this planet, or I'm not going to take this planet, whatever the case might be, right? There's a choice to his destruction in order to feed himself, right? But with, tornadoes, it happens naturally when it comes down to, wind currents and heat and all that kind of stuff. And there's really no controlling it or bargaining with it. But with Galactus, you could definitely bargain with him have the ultimate nullifier chase him away,
Yeah,
convince him to do something else, kind of thing.
yeah. You know more about the character than I do. Galactus is a constant, right? In every universe, there's a Galactus, right? Didn't they establish that?
Well, yeah, he was the previous universe. When it ended, he was the last one to survive and come into this universe.
Okay.
He was like the first, like he was there before the Big Bang kind of thing. Like he was the last from that universe, first into this universe. And when he dies, this universe dies.
Okay. Is that a Hickman thing?
No, I think that's always been a thing with him.
That's always been a thing with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Right, because I'm trying to remember. Is it Hickman's Avengers? It's where they find Galactus dead, right?
That was Hickman's Fantastic Four.
It was Fantastic Four.
Okay. They find him dead. Yeah.
On the moon.
I don't know if it was the moon. The moon was what you're thinking. What you're getting mixed up with is when they found Living Tribunal.
Watcher.
Living Tribunal.
Oh, it was Living Tribunal. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. That is what I'm getting mixed up. It's been a long day, guys.
The Watcher was killed by Nick Fury.
God, that was terrible. That shit was so fucking terrible.
The real Nick Fury. All the Nick Furies we had previously were just LDMs or whatever. LMDs.
Yeah, I remember that. They so half-assed their way into incorporating the Samuel Jackson Nick Fury into the comics. What was it? It's like his brother who lost his son.
It was a illegitimate son.
Yeah.
That happened to have the same name, or he had a different name. It was something Johnson. I forget. Something Johnson. And for whatever reason, they make him lose an eye, and let's change his name to Nick Fury. And we're gonna get rid of Nick Fury by making him like some super crazy. He escaped to the moon and took over the Watcher or whatever kind of thing. It was pretty convoluted.
Have they ever done? I don't think they've done anything with that version of Nick since.
I haven't seen that Nick Fury since. What was that? Original Sin? Since Original Sin?
Something like that. Yeah, it's been around that long. I mean,
I think the only time you've seen him come back is when Gore explained to Thor, or when we found out what Nick Fury said to Thor to make him unworthy.
That was good. That was a good moment.
Yeah, but that wasn't like him again. That was just kind of like a flashback kind of thing.
Well, we've gotten that version of Nick Fury through Garth Ennis, through that Fury Max series that he's done.
Right, but
that was good.
Punisher Max is an alternate universe.
Right, it's not the mainline title.
Right, it's not that Nick Fury. It's that idea of that Nick Fury who went through Vietnam and was super secret agent kind of thing.
Mm.
But it's not the 616 version of that, because that one for some reason was just some space god or whatever.
Let me flip it around. How about a really stupid villain that you still enjoy? For me, it's Condiment King. Condiment King and Kite Man. They're
Kite Man, hell yeah.
They're stupid villains. They're horrible villains, but I like them. I also love the cast of Superior Foes of Spider-Man. How great is
Oh my god, that's such a good book, dude.
That whole cast.
I'm glad, even though it still kind of rubs me raw, that I read it, because I thought we were all going to read it, but I was the only one that ended up reading it. But I'm glad I did, because I forgot how much I loved that book and how good that was and how just fucking stupid those characters are, dude. Well, not all all the characters besides Beetle are complete asshole idiots.
They're selfish, and that's what it is. They are Silvio Silvermane, the head on the little RC car.
On the RC car.
Amazing. Or when they're stealing a painting from Doctor Doom, and it shows from Doom.
No, the Doctor Doom painting, they were stealing from. Was it from Tombstone? It was one of those gangsters. It was Tombstone or one of those characters that they were stealing it from, because it was like apparently like the only image, even though it was a painting, it was the only image of Doom's real face.
For those of you out there that we've talked about this series before, but for those of you out there that are looking for a great fun, you don't need to know the history of these characters, story to read. It's Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't show up at all in the fucking book.
I don't think he does at all. No.
Because
that was Superior Spider-Man time.
Yeah, it's a story about a bunch of D-list Spider-Man villains and how they eventually fuck each other over in the most hilarious ways.
But man, Nick Spencer is such a good character writer, though.
He is. He really is.
Each one of those characters had like their own voice, their own kind of story, their own kind of history. Like Shocker is a complete moron.
Shocker. I love Shocker.
Who was it? It was Blue. It was Beetle, but it was a female version of Beetle.
Boomerang.
Whose father, like there's a thing about her and who her dad is awesome. I love that. She's like the coolest character.
Yeah.
Boomerang, Overdrive, who I'd never heard of before that series.
Shocker.
Shocker. There's one more that I don't have the omnibus anymore. I stole it recently. But yeah, it's just goofy, stupid stuff that they get involved with, but it's so entertaining. So entertaining.
Yeah, it's a fun ride all the way through. It's short. It's only about 18 issues. Something like that.
Yeah. You know, it's 18 issues, but 2 of the issues are like fill-ins that they just put at the back of the book. It's like issues like 12 and 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
When you read when I read the omnibus, it was like 1 through like 11, and then 14 through like 18 or whatever. And those 2 issues were just pushed in the bag, and I didn't even have to read them. Like they just like, this doesn't matter. They just kind of put this out of the way.
No, you don't have to read them. That was Nick Spencer took a break from the book for whatever reason. I think for 2 or 3 months. That was a book that was always on the bubble too. That was a book that everybody was reading it and going, "This book isn't going to last." Nobody's paying attention to it. It's going to get canceled.
There's that Underground Darling book that you don't really see much anymore these days.
It really was, man. It was such a gem. I love that story. Man. Let me see. I'm kind of going through the.
Speed Demon was the other one. Speed Demon or Overdrive? I don't remember. Okay, Speed Demon.
Yeah. Because
Overdrive is the one that could turn any car into like something else.
Mm.
They could take a bus and turn it into like a tank or something like that. Like, yeah.
Oh man, I'm kind of trying to go through the Rolodex in my head of like villains that I love. Somebody mentioned in the chat, John Carpenter's The Thing.
You know, I never saw that movie.
You never seen it?
I've seen like maybe half of it.
Okay.
I don't remember it. I don't even remember. It's Kurt Russell again, right?
It's Kurt Russell again.
Where he just throws his whiskey into the computer. He just opens up like the disk drive and like, or not even a disk drive, like whatever it was. Not even a floppy drive. He opened it up and just dumped his whiskey into it because he was pissed off at it.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't remember that movie though.
I think you would enjoy it. The practical effects still look great. I love John Carpenter's The Thing. It's a remake of a classic film. There was a sequel about 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And
was it a sequel or a remake?
No, there was a prequel. My mistake. There was a prequel. Yeah, it was a prequel. Jeez, I want to say it was like 2010-ish, something like that. And I didn't hear good things about it. I never saw it.
They need somebody out there. There should be some kind of department. Some kind of department out there in the entertainment world that approves or disapproves of remakes.
I am amazed. We have not, and I think this might be because Zemeckis has some say in it. I'm amazed we haven't gotten a Back to the Future movie, a new one.
That can't happen. They can't do that. That is like you haven't seen Goonies, but that's like it's an untouchable movie, and that's the problem with remakes is they always try to remake good movies and they don't try to remake shit movies, right? Yeah. It's always the good like I said, there should be a department. There should be a guy there that goes, "Oh, you want to remake Aladdin? You want to make it live action? Who do you? Oh, okay. So, well, they had Robin Williams as Genie. Who do you guys thinking about having in Genie for this? Oh, Will Smith denied. Like, just a big old stamp that just says denied. He just put it right on their stupid forehead for doing that.
I genuinely am shocked that they have not, because we're really obsessed with the nostalgia, right? I'm genuinely shocked they have not made a Back to the Future, a new one, and have it set in the 80s or late 70s. I'm really
Back to the Future should not be remade. Goonies should not be remade.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some other stuff.
RoboCop is untouchable for me.
They try to remake that. So here comes the department guy again. Oh, you want to make RoboCop? Okay, what are you thinking? PG-13? Denied.
Yeah, that was.
You want to keep him? You want to keep him alive and human still? And denied.
Yeah, that RoboCop movie was not good. Oh man. Yeah, I think Back to the Future is one of those perfect films. I don't think you need to do
Jurassic Park. That should not denied immediately.
That's coming. They're going to reboot Jurassic Park. I'm sure. I think I think they are rebooting Jurassic Park or something.
Denied. Not happening. Denied.
I don't think it's gonna be a remake, but I think
tear up your paperwork. Try over. Try again. No, it should be at the DMV.
Yeah. Go ahead and give the plug one more time, Gabe. We're already kind of
All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us on our topic of favorite villains. This is sponsored and brought to you by the one and only, the fantastic website In Stock Trades, where you can get your books up to, and a lot of times over, 50% off. That's right. All your favorite omnibuses, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, mangas, all your collected edition needs, up to 50% off, if not more, especially if you're looking at the red tag sale. With that, also an additional 2% off on a loyalty order. So you make one order, make another order. You can do it like right away and get an extra 2% off. Also, in America, in the US, if you make an order of $50 or more, which is super simple to do, it's free shipping in the United States. And with shipping prices going up, that is a bargain and a deal every single time. I always keep the packaging for when I sell books, or if I need to ship something out. I have an awesome box. I have a little cardboard container inside of it, little cradle, some bubble wrap sometimes. Perfect for all your shipping needs. They give us a $50 gift card that we don't keep. We don't hoard that. We are very benevolent with our gift card that we get, and we give it to one special person live on the show through a random generator. We don't just pick a name out. We let AI do that for us or whatever. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you give us a thumbs up so that you can always be alerted to our videos, so that you can be here live when we do give away that gift card. So thanks again to In Stock Trade for keeping us on the air for, God, they've been sponsoring us for at least like 6 years, if not more.
I believe it. Yeah,
definitely before the pandemic. So again, shout out to them. Make sure that you visit them if you haven't done that before. All right. Next, Mejanot says, Zemeckis and screenwriters still have right stakes in Back to the Future and have been adamant to never allow a remake, at least until after their deaths, and they will never approve a sequel unless it is genuinely inspired, which it never is. We don't need any more sequels to Back to the Future. That three film arc is basically perfect.
I love those movies. I
absolutely.
Yeah, I love Back to the Future. And speaking of remakes, are you going to see the Crow remake this week?
Fuck no. No. There's a Crow remake? You want to do a Crow remake? Denied.
I don't have much hope for it. I'll leave it at that.
I don't even care. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I got the 4K of the Crow and I was like, nope, I don't even care anymore. Nope, this movie is perfect in itself. Crow, that's another one. The first Ninja Turtles movie, those are like perfect, awesome films. Don't need to be touched. Don't need to be remade. You can't do better than perfect.
Yeah, those
don't even. So what's even the point? You don't need the money. Use it for something else.
I mean, hey,
that move. Just get cocaine with that move or that money. Don't waste it on the Crow.
That Crow reboot. Well,
and they've done Crow sequels or other Crow movies, right? Whatever, and they've never been that great. They've never been. You can't beat that first one. Is incredible.
There is a soft spot in my heart, very soft spot, for the Crow City of, I think it's City of Angels, the second Crow movie.
Yeah, City of Angels.
Yeah, there's a soft spot in there for that. I'm like, this isn't good, but not horrible.
They even tried to do a Crow TV show. Whatever. Nope.
God,
nope. And it's not even really out of respect for Brandon Lee. I mean, sure, there's some element to that, of course, because, he died on that film.
Yeah.
But it's just that film is so well done that it holds up 30 years later, maybe, right?
It's
still fantastic.
I watched that 4K disc a few months ago, whenever that disc came out.
Yeah.
And goddamn, that is a great looking disc, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, it looks great. They did a good job on that transfer. It's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
I love all the characters in that movie. It's such a good ride all the way through. It's definitely a product of its time, though. It is 90s as fuck, for better or worse. And
Like the music and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the underground kind of clubs.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a product of its time, but it's fun. It's a great movie.
The street tough girl who rides a skateboard, like.
Oh man, it's also got one of my favorite voice actors, Michael Wincott, who plays Top Dollar. He's got that gravelly voice of.
Who does he play?
Michael Wincott, Top Dollar. He's the main villain.
Oh, okay.
The long hair.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Michael Wincott's just. Oh my god, I wish he got more work, dude. He was the voice of Death in the Darkstriders game. Those games that you like, the Joe Mad did the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the voice of Death in that.
Oh, that's awesome then.
Yeah, Michael Wincott's awesome. His voice is so good.
Here's another topic. Movies that should never be remade. Let's keep going there. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Stop it. That third one didn't need to be made at all.
I never saw it.
You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't want to.
Here's something else. I've never seen Bill and Ted movies.
Where's that stupid button at? All right, so thanks everybody for showing up. It's just me here now because Lou's got terrible taste. And we can't have that bad talk around here because Bill and Ted is excellent.
I have never seen a Bill and Ted movie. I've seen bits and pieces. I've never
Dude,
seen.
you're missing out. I used to recite that first movie line for line back when I was younger, like a kid.
I need to see them. I need to see. They've got great 4K.
The first one's awesome. The first one is so good from beginning to end. Like it's a really. So no wonder you guys never got my San Dimas High School football rules reference.
Doesn't George Carlin play Death in that? Is that
no? George Carlin plays. God, what's his name in it? It's a one person name or like one name person thing. Rufus.
Okay.
He comes from the future to the past in a time machine that's shaped like a phone booth. And that's how 90s this movie is. There's phone booths. Nobody knows what a phone booth is anymore. But he comes back and he's like, hey guys, you have to pass your history test or the entire future is going to be destroyed because Keanu Reeves' character, if they fail school, is going to go to military school. And they don't get to form their band, the Wild Stallions, which saves the world with their music.
Right. I've heard that.
Yeah. The second one is the one with Death, and it's pretty stupid because they die, and Death is like, the only way you can get out of Death is if you beat me in checkers, and he beats him in checkers. He's like, oh, no. 2 out of 5 or whatever. And it just keeps escalating. Then they start playing like Twister and Battleship and like all these other. It's dumb, but it's awesome, man. Oh no, it's the good guy us's. It's the bad guy us's. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a weird trend over the last few years of revisiting old franchises for better or for worse. I mean, sometimes it works, right? We had Top Gun Maverick. That worked. That was a home run that nobody fucking saw coming.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. I love Top Gun Maverick. We've had,
Dude, but that's a diamond in the rough, bro. That's a diamond in the rough. Everything else we get, it's always uninspired. It's always just a cash grab nonsense.
Yeah.
Like the fourth Matrix movie I didn't finish watching.
Man. Yeah,
I couldn't finish that movie.
That was rough.
I couldn't deal with it. I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, that was rough, man. We're going to see that next month when we get Beetlejuice. I am actually here's the thing. I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Everything that I've seen so far in the trailer makes me go, I think they might have pulled this off because they're using practical effects. The thing is with Beetlejuice is it looks like the first film. The aesthetic of it looks like the first film. And I think it's because they're using practical effects. They got the cast pretty much all back. It's years later, obviously. They got Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice and everything. And I don't know, man. I am very hopeful for this based on the trailers. I think it looks good.
No, I agree. I'm looking forward to it. I have high hopes. We'll see what happens. Jenna Ortega in it, I think, is a good choice.
Very good choice.
But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a hit, but I've been fooled before.
True.
So we'll see. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, jeez.
And honestly, any movie that's garbage, it looked good because I saw it go, oh, this might be kind of cool. I was like, oh, this is shit. Like that trailer fooled me. I got gaslit by that trailer. Like, bro, it looks cool, but I don't care. Unless somehow somebody is able to like save Brandon Lee and make another Crow movie back in 1999, maybe, or something like that. But I don't care about anything else to do with that.
All right, man. Time to get out of here.
Let's get out of here, guys. Thanks again for showing up. We are gonna bounce. Where's our exit videos? I don't know. I'll put that up there for now.
Good night, everyone.
We're out of here.
We're
out of here. Where's the thing? Oh, they've set these bicycles back up. Everybody loves bicycles.